Okay, guys. Very sorry. I'm back. Everything is good. Everything is fine. Um, I hope everyone is fine here. No, I wasn't trying to fix something that wasn't broken. Whoever said that right now, I was just the Google Hangouts thing is very lame, and um, I can't see everything on time. The live chat works very badly, and there's just no correct synchronicity between the microphone and the camera and the screen and everything, which is why I tried using a more professional software. But apparently, my computer thought, "Okay, that's it. I'm dying." So. Foxtrot Delta 77 said, "Can you please speak a bit Turkish?" I did that on every live chat so far. Merhaba arkadaşım, nasılsın? Umarım iyisindir. Hoş geldin. Burada bulunduğun için çok sevinçliyim. Teşekkürler. Okay, that was a lot of Turkish. Abby said, "Have you ever listened to Christian Prince, Arabian Prophet?" A bit. I don't like watching YouTube videos. I don't like watching YouTube creators. I think people that make videos on YouTube are a bunch of jerks. But yeah, I listened to him and I think he's quite knowledgeable and interesting. Thanks for the question. NY Defiant said, "What do you think of Imam Tawhidi?" I think he's a quite brave person. He's very knowledgeable. He's active. He's doing something. He's trying to make the world a better place in some way. I don't know how he's actually doing that and trying to be successful because Muslims don't follow him, so he can't really reform Islam in any way. But still, he's doing something, so I'm fine with it. And he makes very badass tweets sometimes. Thanks for the question, though. Vikash Tiwari said, "Why is Islam spreading so fast?" I made a video about that a while ago. Islam is spreading so fast to 99.7% because of the high birth rate and the young age of Muslims, and only to 0.3% because of conversions. So contrary to what many Muslims claim, the world is not converting to Islam. Muslims are just making too many babies. Thanks for the question. This 10 said, "Who was the first Muslim according to the Quran?" The first human. It's ridiculous. Konami Boy Fool. "What do you think about David Wood?" I think he's very knowledgeable. I respect him because of his knowledge. I think he's making great videos to dismantle Islam. Of course, he's doing it from a different perspective because he's a Christian apologist, a Christian minister. But yeah, I like his work. It's quite nice. Please reply to my question. What was your question, Somiasao? Sorry for missing it. Romy Robinson said, "Have you seen the latest bullying tactics at Speaker's Corner, London by Muslims?" No, I don't follow Speaker's Corner at all. I think... I know I might be offending a lot of people who watch this right now, but I think Speaker's Corner is a bunch of just go there, yell at each other, just have discussions with people, create mobs, and tell everyone how wrong they are and how right you are. I don't know. I'm not really very fond of the whole Speaker's Corner thing. I think people who definitely need to go to Speaker's Corner every day should rather stay home and do some other stuff that is not appropriate to talk about in public that also releases energy. Yosh Srihin asked, "Did you draw the AP character yourself? How did you come up with it?" It's not very intelligent. I mean... I was just sitting at home and I was thinking of just using some drawing software at home, and then I just started drawing something, thought this looks actually funny, and then I just started using it as a logo. Thanks for the question. Praveen Dev, nice background. Thank you so much. I like it personally very much. For the first time, I have something in my background that I actually like. Tux said, "Opinions on Bosnia and Herzegovina." What do you want me to say? I think they are a very moderate type of Muslim nation, mostly. There are also some weirdos among them, as I have experienced myself. But otherwise, they are I don't know. I think they are much nicer than many other predominantly Muslim nations. Ankit Tiwari said, "What's your thoughts on hypocrisy of Facebook toward non-Muslims? It's easy to get banned if you're a non-Muslim, but getting a Muslim ban is incredibly hard." I totally agree, and this has nothing to do with being right-wing and being a conspiracy theorist and stuff like that. Yeah, Facebook is very biased toward who to ban and who not to ban. They ban people who criticize Islam very much, and I even kept a record once. I totally dumped it later, where I reported Muslims who made very, very extreme posts, and Facebook did nothing about them. So Facebook is incredibly biased. Everyone knows that by now. Anshul Punder said, "Have you watched the recent Vidovitz conversation with a Hindu? You should if you have not yet." I haven't seen it, but I know who he was talking to. The same guy contacted me to have a conversation with him, which I will probably do sometime soon. Yeah, but I haven't watched it. I don't like watching YouTubers. YouTubers are boring. What do you think about Albania? Don't let me say that again. Cray40N1. What do you think about Albania? Let's not talk about Albania. But yeah, I've met quite nice people from Albania, but otherwise, let's not talk very much about Albania. I visited Serbia and Croatia and Montenegro a lot, and let's just drop this. Thanks for the question. Justin Foley said, "If you had to choose Islam or die, what would you do?" I would kill myself. Oh, that was a wrong thing to say on this live chat. I'm sorry, but yeah, I would take the second option. Rashid Sharma said, "Aren't you afraid if you get more famous, you might get executed or targeted by radicals and liberals?" I'm not afraid of liberals. I don't know why I should be afraid of liberals. Thanks for the question. But liberals just would just scream in my face and think that somehow their purple hair combined with their screeching would somehow make me change my mind about Islam. But radicals, I don't think it's a very big danger. Also, I'm in America. We have good means in America to protect ourselves. And I would definitely use them. What do you think about the burqa, Justin Foley? It's not a very hard question. I think it's a disgusting practice. It should be banned everywhere. I totally agree with the banning of the burqa or the niqab in European countries and many other countries. I think people should just ban that. It's not a human thing. It's not something that should be there in a respectful modern society. Just a second, I need to share the new link on Twitter and on Facebook. I'm still using Facebook. A weird platform. Does anyone else hate Facebook? I hate Facebook. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm back. Okay. What shall non-Muslims do to control Islamists? Govind Gupta. Well, we should all first acknowledge that that Islamism is part of Islam. Definitely. As long as people talk nonsense like it has nothing to do with that religion and, well, it's just radicalism, we can't solve the problem. At first, people have to acknowledge that it's part of Islam and then tackle it. But the first people who need to acknowledge that are the majority of Muslims, and Muslims don't acknowledge that. Someone just asked me, what was that? Barney Stinson, will you go to Turkestan server on Discord? No, I won't. Not because of their refutation video. But I actually talked to someone who was on top of them a few days ago, and he invited me to that server without me having any knowledge that they are making videos about me. I said I don't like being in groups, but I would like talking to him one-on-one. which I will probably do in future. But a Discord server, I don't think so, especially if people refuse to be repeatedly respectful to you because you insulted their Allah. What do I think of Tariq Fatah? I don't know very much about Tariq Fatah. I think he's doing a great job in criticizing Islam, but I don't know very much about him, to be honest. Inui Defiance, thanks for the question. Tux said non-Islam related thoughts on Antifa. Let's not talk about Antifa. They're a bunch of crybabies. Bunch of crybabies who have no job, who will stop doing their weird activities once they have a job and earn their own money and understand how the world works. Birdman said, how can Islam be brought to its end? Thanks for the question. It will happen in time. I think by criticizing Islam, we are very much accelerating it, but it will happen with time. The atheist Arab said, what do you think of Sufi Islam? I was part of Sufi Islam myself before in my religious life. I was a very, very strictly practicing Sufi. I think it's far better than movements like Salafism, for example, in Islam, or other movements that are fundamentalist, because it's more peaceful, it's more mysticist, it concentrates more on the love side of Islam. But the problem about it is that it still doesn't reject all the bad sides of Islam. So Sufism is just love every day, but also support all the harsh laws of Islam. Yeah. Weird question about my pants. Gedali said, have you a copy of the poem Splitting the Moon? I have it if you want. What were you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, is that something we made up or something? Anyway, tell me about it. I'm very curious. Foxtrot Delta 77 asks if Islam can be removed from Turkey. Well, Turkey is currently going towards more and more Islam. I have no idea how the country will get rid of it, which is sad. Turkey is not a nation that should be under Islam. Turkey has its own weird ways of thinking, like extreme nationalism and hating everyone else. No More PC said, your videos are very good and accurate. Thank you so much. What is my opinion about the Crusades? Asked by Sorin Krasyan. Well, the Crusades were mostly a series of defensive attacks on Muslim forces, and they had every right to do those attacks because the Muslims conquered their way through Christian soil, and at some point Christians had to respond. I believe they responded way too late. But some details about the Crusades were also not very nice, like attacks on other pagans or the Catholics, the Crusaders suddenly trying to crush the Orthodox Church and stuff like that. But in general, of course, I don't share everyone's stupid opinion about the Crusades. The Crusades were a defense, and I'll definitely make a video about that. Does Allah have two hands, a face, and 2 feet? There are actually in the Quran and the Hadith specifications about Allah, and where He reveals his foot, for example. But thinking further about these things is considered blasphemy. You cannot imagine how Allah looks like, which is funny because as a child I thought. I had this image because I was just a stupid child. I had this image that Allah is this huge guy, this tall guy with a long white or gray beard. And later I came to realize that imagination is actually haram in Islam. Joseph de Mayo said, would you say Islam is at war with the West? I wouldn't call it a war, but I would definitely call it a conflict. Blossoming Reason said, do you think Salafism could get banned, and would it help? I don't think... Okay. It can be cracked down on, and it can be banned in a political sense. But the thing is, it won't happen because the main people who spread Salafism are people who have too much power in the world. Because, for example, Saudi Arabia, which spreads Salafism, has the support of Western nations like the USA or the UK, and I see comments. And yeah, banning such activities in the West would, of course, very much benefit us, and it would decrease the spread of a very crazy form of Islam. But Western nations work very closely with Saudi Arabia and with other organizations and states and people that spread such ideas. For a reason, they do that. So I don't think it will happen very soon, unless we have a very big problem with Saudi Arabia, which I wish we had. Because it's hypocritical. I mean, I see why U.S. presidents, for example, want to keep working with Saudi Arabia, but seriously, if you want to demonize Iran because of their weird policies, but then you work very closely with Saudi Arabia, that's just hypocrisy. But of course, it has political backgrounds, political reasons, so who are we to judge? What do I think of Sherif Gaber? Asked by the atheist. I think he's doing a very great job. I think he's sometimes focusing on things that I didn't expect him to focus on, like his last video, but he's doing a very great job. I think it's pretty impressive. Do I think Hinduism is the oldest religion? It's not very clear, so I wouldn't make any comment about that because nothing is clear. What is my opinion about the biggest number of converts in the USA? Please answer this question. AR, what is your opinion about the biggest number of converts being... biggest numbers of converts are in the USA. I don't even know if that's true. I didn't check such a data. And if that's true, that's sad. But I don't think it says much, because people, Muslims of the United States of America, I don't know why I said it this formally, but Muslims in America are the least strict, the least religious ones in the world. So I think it's not a big problem that there are many Muslim converts in America. And studies have shown us before, even Muslim studies have shown us before, that that people who join Islam, many of them leave Islam after only a few years. And there was also a different study showing that 1/4 of Muslims in America have left Islam. They are not Muslims anymore. So they are officially still Muslims, but they don't believe in it anymore, which is nice. Good news. Faker Baker said, where did you grow up? What sect did you grow up following? I grew up in Germany into a Turkish family, and my parents were part of a Sufi order, and when I became very religious at the age of 18 or 19, I also became part of a Sufi order. So I was a Sufi, a Sunni Sufi, which was quite a weird thing to do in life. What's my opinion about Christianity? Eris Brandon, 1997. Thanks for the question, Eris. I think Christianity is a religion. Next question. I think Christianity is a religion that can be more called a religion of peace rather than Islam. In fact, Islam is the least peaceful religion, is the least peaceful major religion in the world, I think. I mean, if there was a religion that we called peaceful today, it's definitely not Islam. But Christianity is far more peaceful. It makes far more sense. The main figure of Christianity, Jesus, is, according to all sources of the scripture, was a very nice person who cared very much about people around him and stuff like that. Never advocated war and so on. I don't believe in Christianity, but I appreciate kind of the Christian culture over history. Yeah, that's my opinion on Christianity. But I have good reasons not to believe in these religions. Atheist or Christianity is more violent than Islam. Come on. If you say that Christianity is more violent than Islam, then you have either not read the New Testament or you have not read the Quran, or both. I don't know. The New Testament is like a children's book for a bright future. It's amazing. I loved reading it. The Quran is like boom, 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 boom. It's like the Old Testament. I'm sorry. Much worse even. Okay, let me stop commenting on this. Sami BM said, how can I debate with Muslim friends who don't believe in hadith? Well, you could ask him a lot of questions, but I think this would be way too long. I'll make a video about that quite soon, I think. A video about what I think on Quran-only Muslims. But you can, for example, give them things like, how do you know how to pray and when to pray if the Quran doesn't really specify when to pray and how to pray? That's all part of the Hadith. You know, if a Muslim ignores the Hadith, then there is a lot of stuff that they shouldn't be doing, because most Islamic practices come from the Hadith. Lots of comments. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks for the great participation, guys. Thank you so much. Anna said, greetings from at home. Come back. Okay. At home means Germany. Thank you so much, Anna. I thought about moving back to Germany so much when I was in Turkey, but I just first thing was, it was way too difficult to move back to Germany, and the second thing was that the political climate and everything changed way too much in Germany over all the years that I was in Turkey. So I was always afraid, what if I go back to Germany and then everything's quite different and I don't like it anymore? Anyway, but I'm in America now, and I created a German YouTube channel. You can check that out if you want. I'll make a lot of German videos in future, and I will make my first video very soon. Michael Shigi said, what would you do if your children wanted to be Muslims? I don't think that there is any possibility that my children would try becoming Muslims, but if they wanted to become Muslims, I would say it's their choice. It's your choice. You can do whatever you want for your life, but I would, of course, give them my opinion about it and tell them everything I know about the religion, and I would make sure that they know what they are doing before they convert to this religion. But as said, I really don't believe that there is any possibility of that. Where in America am I? RK, thanks for the question. I'm in the middle parts of America. Thank you. Carlos Luis Lopez Padilla asked, do you feel safer in USA? Yes, Carlos, I do. I feel very much safer in the USA. Here I know that if someone wants to do a mess and just spread blood here unnecessary over all the furniture, I have the means to protect myself very much, and I will do it. This is the second time I did this effect. Why did Islam not begin in Japan? Asked by Dina Rana. Well, Arabs were very underdeveloped, and I think Islam was the perfect religion for them back then. Thank you, Gedalia. TP Bear said, TP Bear said, explain oh, you mean chapter 4, verse 34 in the Quran. Thanks for the question, TP Bear. Chapter 4, verse 34 is the Quran verse, the infamous Quran verse that talks about wife beating. The Quran verse first talks about how men have a right above women, and that in the absence of their husbands, women should be staying home and protecting what needs to be protected, which means the honor or the house. And in the following part of after that, it says that to the husbands, if you fear arrogance from your wives, first warn them, then separate them in beds, and then if they do it again, beat them. And that's very clear in the Quran. That's very clear in the Arabic Quran. There can be no confusion about that. And in every certified, credible translation of the Quran, it's also pointed out that that the Quran verse orders wife beating. So yeah, that's one of my favorite Quran verses. Thanks for the question. Anna, thank you so much. I agree totally. Chocolate or vanilla ice cream? I don't discriminate. Jackknife. Magda W said, does Islam thrive on poverty? It does. It does. And the more we are getting away from it, the more people are having more chances to live their lives peacefully, the more Islam starts to go away, which is good news for everyone. What do I think about Muslim scientists at the Islamic Golden Age? Make a video about this, please. Asked by Aim Rifak. Thank you for the question. It's a quite tricky topic. I want to make actually a series of that, or at least 2 videos about that, about the Golden Ages in Islam. Because in the West, people do this very easy categorizing of people based on their religious beliefs. Like if someone believed in Islam or was in some way member of an Islamic community, he's directly considered a Muslim. And if he made a great accomplishment, totally unrelated to Islam, then people say, "Oh, Muslims made something great." That's just the Western view. In reality, many of the Golden Age scientists in Islam were not even Muslims. Some of them were totally against Islam. Some of them were, by actual Islamic scholars, labeled heretics and infidels and blasphemers and so on. And many other scientists in the Islamic Golden Ages, as I pointed out in one of my recent videos about slavery, were also very problematic people in how they viewed women, the world, other cultures, and so on. So yeah, I want to talk about the Islamic Golden Ages in the future, maybe soon. I will do that definitely, because that's one deception that is made very easily by Islamic apologists and also by people in the West. It was definitely not a golden age. And yes, the Arabs and Muslims stole a lot from here and there. I mean, seriously, people even credit the Turks, the Ottoman Empire, for great architecture, great infrastructure. And the Ottomans stole everything from the Greek when they arrived. The same way the Arabs basically adopted so many things from the Indians and from the Persians. And when Persians became Muslims, they started working for Muslims. So Islam shouldn't take any credit for that. We shouldn't give Islam any credit for that. Rami Tobinson said, use super chat, people. You can use the super chat function. You don't have to. I'm not asking anyone to use it. Enoi Defiant said, are there multiple definitions of God? Maybe in general, but not in Islam. Ram Wilson, thanks for being here. Thank you so much. Have a good night. How to argue with Muslims that Islam is not a religion of peace? Asked by Justin Foley. Well, I'm actually considering creating a short thing, like a short piece of book or a pamphlet, I don't know, whatever, to I don't even know what I actually want to do with that, but to make a list of very reasonable and fair points why Islam is not a religion of peace that people can easily spread and show to other people. But that's a thing of the future. But you can give them a few examples from the Islamic interpretations of the chapter 9 of the Quran. It's terrifying. If any person reads, for example, Ibn Kathir, who was an early exegesis of the Quran, an exegete of the Quran. If someone reads Ibn Kathir's interpretation of Quran chapter 9 and still claims that Islam is a religion of peace, they have a problem. What is my favorite Muslim caliphate? Asked by Sri Krishna. Why would I have a favorite Muslim caliphate? I didn't pick my favorites among them, but of course, as a Turkish person, I have to say that the Ottoman Caliphate was the best. Otherwise, I would be stoned in Turkey. But I don't say that. I don't like any of them. They were all horrible. The best caliphate was the Vikings. From where does Islam get a tagline as peaceful religion, even though it's full of cruelty? Asked by Vinyas Bhatt. Well, the peaceful thing, I explained that recently, not recently, I explained that long ago on this channel, how Islam started being called a religion of peace. And it actually happened only within the last decades. And yeah, one of those people that we can be thankful to for calling Islam a religion of peace is George W. Bush. That scumbag called George W. Bush actually made a huge speech, as some of you might know, that Islam is actually a religion of peace, and people started adopting what he said, which is bullshit. I mean, seriously, the main enemy of the Islamic world back in that age, when people hated America, had to say Islam is a religion of peace. But yeah, it was also spread among Islamist organizations and the Arab Union and so many others. It's only a recent thing. 200 years ago, people didn't claim that Islam is a religion of peace. RK said, when you believe, do you think you could have been convinced to jihad? Well, I practically did jihad in a different form when I was a Muslim, which is in a verbal form and in traveling to places and talking to people. I actually did weird stuff like that. But fighting for Allah, I think it was possible. To be very honest with you, I think it was possible. I'm glad I'm not a Muslim anymore. Hakim Mazir said, what is your position on religion as general? Are you agnostic or an atheist? Thanks for the question. The thing is about this that labels are quite a difficult thing to me. I don't want to call myself anything, and especially, I'm sorry, atheists in this chat. Some of you might agree with me, but because of the very weird behaviors shown among the atheist community online, it's also quite hard to call yourself an atheist nowadays. So. I also wouldn't even call myself an atheist because I have so many questions, so many things on my mind regarding the origin of life, the aftermath, and so many other things that might happen or might not happen in the future. I'm not saying that I'm completely an atheist. I would say that I don't believe in the one God, and I would never believe in that. But other than that, I think I would just call myself a non-theist free thinker. That's the most applicable label that would make me happy. What is Islam's position on predestination and free will? Asked by Irene Katrina. Thanks, Irene, for the question. It's actually very interesting in Islam because predestination is, there are quite deep explanations about predestination and free will in Islam. According to Islam, every soul was gathered before the creation of humankind. And our souls were all gathered, and we were told how we are and what we are and where we are going and so on. And Allah created us anyway and gave us our destiny. And Allah knew from the very beginning what would happen eventually to us, which begs the question, which doesn't beg a question, it begs a question, but I will talk more about that in the future with some nice visual that I'm planning to make. There is a super chat. Thank you so much, DC. $5. It said, I'm not asking anyone to do super chats, but if you want to make one, go ahead and do it. I'm not asking anyone. And with the super chat comes a question. Do you think Islam is close to collapsing within the Middle East, like atheism secretly on the rise in Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Iran, etc.? Yes, I do believe so. I talked about this quite often before. I also talked about it with Yasmin Mohammed last time when we had a live chat together. In so many countries, there is this rising concern right now, especially even in countries like Saudi Arabia, where clerics and people tell each other that atheism is a growing problem. There are even online Islamic apologists who describe atheism and apostasy as a growing problem in the Islamic world, because more and more Muslims begin identifying with non-religiosity or just believe in Islam but don't practice it anymore. So yeah, it's definitely a growing problem, and many people acknowledge that. But they think that they can somehow prevent that and fight it. Well, they can't, because it's getting faster and faster. And within the next 150 years, Islam should be dead, basically. Rami Tobinson asks, can you make me a moderator? It's good for your channel. Let's talk about that on the next live chat. You can contact me on Twitter if you want. Let's talk about it on the next live chat. I'm very picky about such things. Why are Muslim men hypocrites? Too vague of a question, but thanks for the question, Sugagal. Enoi Define said, why is Islam anti-Semitic? Well, Islam has been anti-Semitic from pretty much almost the first days when Muhammad realized that that Jews are not going to accept his message, and that they won't believe in his weird, pathetic religion that claims to be the same religion of the Jews. And they made many things, like they mocked him because he imitated their practices. I don't know. More than that, there are so many reasons. I made a video about the Islamic war on Jews. You can see that among my uploaded videos. Doorknob Head said, "Is there a corresponding Discord?" There is actually. I created one only recently. I will share that as an update very soon. Guys, if you want to support me on Patreon, I have this. Many people do that. I started doing that now as well. I created a community where people can join who support me to some extent on Patreon, and I also created a Discord server where people can join me who support me on Patreon, so that they can be in constant contact with me. If you are interested in that in any way, you can check out my Patreon page. It should be there now, and there should also be a mark now which group gets which role on the Discord server, and so on. I'll talk about that later. Let's not confuse the conversation right now. But thanks for the question, Doorknob Head. Inner Defiance, thank you so much. L. Ron Hubbard said, "Was Muhammad for or against FGM? I believe there are hadith where he said, 'Don't cut so deep.' You have any information on this?" Thanks for the question, L. Ron Hubbard. Well, there are some conflicting hadith. I mean, some hadith say that it should be done, but it should be done not too severely. Some hadith say that it's not a necessity. But I think the middle ground on female genital mutilation in Islam is that it wasn't really that greatly advocated by Muhammad, but it was permitted and allowed and regulated, which is bad. If Islam is a peaceful, wonderful religion coming from an almighty Allah, that should have never been there, because no one needs female genital mutilation, and it's a deadly, disgusting practice. RKK said, "Are all Muslim men circumcised?" Not all of them, but very many. The majority of them are. Akhenaten Ramses said, "What would you say to Erdogan if you met him?" Whoa, I don't know. There is so much. There is so much. I have no idea. I can't just say that in a few words. But I would probably say get a grip first. That's all. What is the future of Islam according to me? Asked by Vishal Singh. Well, the future of Islam, I think, is the future of every ideology that is dying. They will try to survive. They will try to make it come alive again, but it will be suppressed again and again and again because people don't want it anymore the way they used to. So it will just die. But the bad thing about it is that in the future we might still expect a lot of Islamic terrorist attacks to prove that Islam is the only good religion in the world and the religion of peace. Okay, Romit Robinson, you can contact me there. Thank you so much. What does Islam say about Hinduism? Asked by Shivardip Barman. Islam says pretty much nothing about Hinduism. Islam doesn't understand very much about the world. Islam somehow only talks about things much that exist in its immediate surrounding. I guess Allah couldn't see beyond the Arabic, beyond Arabia and much further than that. What would I say to Trump if I met him? What are all these questions? Asked by Lone Crusader. Thanks, Lone Crusader. Well, I would say, come on, man, you are doing some good things, but please stop with the Twitter stuff. It's getting annoying. That's what I would say to Trump. Why do feminists defend Islam? I wouldn't say feminists defend Islam. I would say the new modern feminists who put weird things in their hair and scream weird sounds just defend Islam sort of because they say Islam as the identity of a majority, And because they see it that way, and because they see the evil white men as their enemy, as the oppressor, they have to kind of stand up for Islam and Muslims and defend it. But the average feminist has pretty much no idea about Islam at all. Get into any discussion. I mean, if you have some knowledge about Islam, get into any discussion with any weird modern feminist online. They won't be able to tell you anything about Islam. Neither about Muslim statistics and behavior. What do I do for a living in America? I work on a different jobs, on a different job with it's language related. I'm working on movies and languages, and it takes a lot of my time right now. What do I think about Chinese treatment of Uyghurs? I wouldn't go very much into that. I mean, the Turkic Muslim community in China does a lot of weird things that a peaceful community should definitely not do. And China's treatment with them is harsh from time to time, but I wouldn't even go into that and justify it or defend it or anything. So let's not talk about that. I might do such talks about such things, about more contemporary things in the future. Right now, I'm so busy with work outside of YouTube. Why do Muslim men wear beards? Asked by Rulia. Rulia, thanks for the question. It's actually quite weird because the Hadith, I mean, as far as the Hadith tell us, as far as we can tell from the Hadith, let me just drink my capitalist Coke for a second. As far as Hadith tell us, the beard thing was just a kind of a symbol in Islam, and because other religious groups had their own styles of making beards, Muhammad instructed the Muslims not to make their beard look like the other people's beards. So they were like, well, those people make beards this long, and some people make it too short, and some people make mustaches. You should do this. You should have a very short mustache or none at all, and you should keep your beard until as long as this, or something like that. It's another example that Islam just controls your entire bloody life, you know. Harris Sultan, hi, welcome. Thanks for being here. Hope you are doing well too. If you want to see more people talk about Islam, more ex-Muslims criticize Islam, guys, you can you can check out Harris Sultan. He has a channel too. He has quite interesting intellectual talks, and we should do something together too sometime. Harris would be very nice. Nigel Broadsavage said, could we see a reformation of Islam in the West, in line with what we saw with Christianity? Would such a reformation spread to more conservative Islamic countries? Thanks for the question, Nigel. I talked about this quite often in the past, and I'm actually planning on making a video about that quite soon. I planned it for such a long time, but I think it's time to talk about reform in Islam. But to make it very short, I don't believe that reform in Islam is very much possible, because Christianity is not a fitting example. Christianity was not reformed as in turning into a different, new, peaceful religion. Christianity was reformed because the Christians themselves wanted to bring Christianity to its origins and take it out of the hands of the church. That's what happened. They basically wanted to go to the roots of Christianity and have a pure, nice religion again. In Islam, the pure, nice religion that you can go back to is fundamental Islam, which we can see in Saudi Arabia, in the Gulf countries, in ISIS, and so on. So in an Islamic reformation, the reformation should end in the creation of a new religion, which is nonsense. I'll make a video about that quite soon, and I also want to invite a quite prominent commentator on that. Thanks for the question again. Did I do a DNA test? I actually did. I'm waiting for the results right now. If I have them, I will share them with you. How many languages do I speak? Thanks for the question, SD. I speak 3 languages fluently, which is English, German, and Turkish. Otherwise, I just learn other languages and know their linguistics a bit. That's all. L. Ron Hubbard said, come join Scientology. Okay, I will. Thank you so much. Moreza Mustafovsky said, hi from Melbourne. Any moral values in the Quran? Well, there are moral values in the Quran, but not moral values in a positive sense, but in a quite, just in an objective sense. The moral values in Islam basically crush you because there are so many of them. Don't lay on the floor. Don't talk like this. Don't open your mouth. Don't use your left hand. Don't open the door with your left hand. Don't go on the toilet like this. Don't sleep like this, and so on. God. I'll make a video about that very soon. Slovak Queen said, is there anything your parents used to scare you into obeying Allah or a certain hadith as a child? Well, my parents used to beat me when I was a child, occasionally, which is a quite common thing in Islamic families. My parents used to tell me very often that hell is unbearable and that I should protect myself from hell, that I should be a good Muslim. And yeah, they told me quite weird things sometimes, like, I don't know, if I don't clean up very much in my room, that will be a burden on me mentally and stuff like that. An Islamic upbringing is pretty gross. And there are always some people who come and say, I didn't experience that. This guy is lying. Well, fuck you. I mean, most Muslims do experience such things. Thank you so much, Gotham. Okay, clean up your room. Yeah, exactly. I mean, in my case, it was not clean up your room, please. In my case, it was clean up your room, or you might be disturbed by jinns or whatever. Do I pray or meditate? No, I don't do any of those things. I spend too much time thinking already, so I wouldn't go into meditation and try to clear my mind. Sushma Sharma, yes, I am married. Actually, yeah, my wife just responded in a live chat. I'm married. What is my favorite Quran verse? Lucian Maras. My favorite Quran verse. I have one that is quite beautiful. I don't remember its number. Which one was that? Does anyone remember the Quran verse talking about people not going into Muhammad's house without permission and stuff like that? It's a very funny one. It's my favorite Quran verse. It's beautiful. NAA, how do you respond to your recent refutation, Apostate Prophet? Well, it's not a topic that I want to talk about very much right now because many people don't know what we are talking about. But I think I talked about it before our live chat broke up again. Just a second. There's a channel on YouTube called Durkastan, and they made a video about me, about one of my videos, which is titled Allah Makes Another Mistake, the Trinity. And this channel called Durkastan made their first video ever about me, which is quite weird because I'm quite new in this. I mean, I don't know what drove them to skip so many people and just directly make a video about me. But on their refutation about me, they made some comments about me, like that I'm taking wrong sources, that I'm fabricating quotes and stuff like that. I responded to them first by saying, guys, let's have a respectful conversation first. And I gave them my responses. After that, they responded to me again and said, well, they were just being completely sarcastic and trying to be witty about their attitude towards me, and made more and more claims about how I was fabricating quotes, how I was fabricating quotes by Islamic scholars and making up things. When I saw that, I thought, okay, come on, guys, just go away. That's why I'm no fan of debates. But I was actually thinking about making a video response to them on Monday. Quite a nice one. Just saying, hey, I'm here to review this refutation of my video. I might do that actually in the next week. But if anyone is interested, the channel is called Durkastan. They are here on YouTube. And you can go on that channel and see how other people how Islamic apologists respond to my claims and my videos. Would be interesting to see for everyone. NAA said, how do you feel about being intellectually dishonest after the recent refutation to your content? NAA, let me tell you something. If you go on the video on the Dorcas Dan channel, they made this repetitive claim that I somehow fabricated a quote of Ibn Kathir about a Quran verse. Even when I responded to them and said, "No, I didn't fabricate that. I just didn't take the entire correct quote, but the quote is there in the tafsir." Then they said, "Oh, he's still fabricating stuff." Well, to be honest, I don't want to insult them, but if you go to the video now, to my video, Allah Makes Another Mistake, there is even a link going directly to the quote that I took from the Tafsir Ibn Kathir. And those people from Dorkastan still keep saying that I have fabricated something, although it is directly in the book. So because they are so poor in research and they can't go into that Tafsir to get the to get the exact quote, which is something like, as some ignorant Christian sects claim, because they can't find the quote, they accuse me of fabricating stuff. How can I keep on and have such a discussion with people who can't properly research stuff and then go and insult me and make claims about me because they can't research stuff? Yeah, just one example. So I know you're trying to be a fanboy to those morons, but figure that out, please. What are you supposed to do in heaven with virgins when you leave your body here when you die? Kylo Ren. Well, the concept of going to heaven is a bit different from the Islamic one. In the Islamic one, you go to heaven and then you actually still have your body. So yeah, in Islam, you can have all those 70 virgins or 14 virgins or 12 virgins or just 2 virgins as a normal Muslim gets. And then you can have freely sex with them. It's quite easy. In the Islamic paradise, Allah doesn't take away your body or your genitals. Allah is quite nice. Singh Jaspir said, are you somehow worried about your safety? No, I'm not. We are in America. And in America, if people want to do something against you, there are enough means in America to protect yourself, and I will use them. This is the 3rd time I did this. I don't know why I'm still doing that. How do you feel about not getting 72 virgins? I'm sad about that, of course, but nothing I can do. KCCI, will you ever get a debate with Islamic apologists? I'm not a fan of debates. I think debates are a waste of time because I'm here. You know, it's weird. I'm here because I see the spread of Islam. I see the attempted spread of Islam by Islamic apologists in the Western world. So I get up and say, sorry, Islam is not what these people are telling you. And I go out telling people that Islam is not a religion of peace. Then those apologists come again and want to debate me on how Islam is a good religion. And I can't have that conversation with people who believe that their interpretation is the right one and who can't accept that there could be any sort of flaw in their religion. I mean, how can you have a debate with someone who cannot accept that he is in any way wrong about his faith? It makes no sense. It's a waste of energy and a waste of time. But I contacted some guy that I find quite interesting, quite intellectual, quite honest, as far as I've seen, a Muslim guy. I had a short conversation with him, and I might actually sit down with him and have conversations with him. I don't know. I told him about my plan. We'll talk a bit about that further, and maybe in the future we might have such talks like that. It could be interesting. I mean, I would love sitting down with a Muslim who can have a respectful conversation with me, whom I can share my thoughts with, and who can share his thoughts about his religion with me. Would be beautiful. Why not? We don't have to fight and kill each other about everything. Was it just a super chat? Yes, there was a super chat by Tammy T. Thank you so much, Tammy. Who is the most influential man in the Islamic world? You mean after Muhammad, right? Currently, I don't know. I wouldn't say that there is someone in the entire Islamic world who has the same influence everywhere in the Islamic world. But currently, the most influential person I would say is Zakir Naik, who's a joke. Because he is the guy who has been talked about over the last decade in pretty much every country, in every language. I can't think of any other person, any other figure who talks that much about Islam in every country. Do you think Zakir Naik hails Allah while having sex? I really don't want to think about that. I really don't want to think about that. Anshul Pundir, thank you so much for the question. I really don't want to imagine Zakir Naik doing weird things like that. I really get the image out of my head. Come on. Do I support the Second Amendment? Asked by Lone Crusader. Yes, I do. To an extent. Do I speak German? Yes, I do speak German. Ich kann auch ganz kurz demonstrieren, wie ich Deutsch spreche. Es ist meine Muttersprache. Ich werde diese Sprache nie vergessen. Und ja, vielen Dank fürs Fragen. Ich werde bald Videos auf Deutsch machen. I just said so many things. I don't even want to translate that, but I just confirmed that I can speak English. Yeah, German, not English. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks for the participation. Thank you so much for all the praises. I will reward all of you in the afterlife. Holy shit, that was fast. Yeah, I know, Ghost. I have I speak very fast in German. I don't know why. I always had that. I mean, I used to speak fast in every language. I started calming down a bit in English, but in German, I speak quite fast. I have no idea why. It was just a weird thing that I have. Do I have a relationship with the Gin and Tonic show? Would you be on their show? Already been on their show. But asked by Doorknob Head. Nice username again. I'm aware of a show called the Gin and Tonic Show here on YouTube. I haven't seen much about them. As far as I know, they make live conversations with different people. I would join it for a conversation. Why not? I would do that. Yeah. So far, I didn't have any communication with them. Okay, said, what is worse, mainstream traditional Islam or the influence of some Salafists in European countries? I would definitely say that Salafi Islam is more dangerous than the mainstream Islam that's being spread around. Because, okay, it's a bad thing from my perspective that we are seeing mosques go up in the West, for example, but it could be worse, like Wahhabi mosques being everywhere in the West. That could be much worse. Dilbert Gig said, I just want to donate and made a super chat of $2. Thank you so much, Dilbert Gig. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Eamon Ahmed said, can you prove there is no God? I can't prove there is no God, but I can prove that one of these gods does not exist. But I don't want to go there right now. I might go there sometime when people keep asking me why I don't believe in God. Anshul Pundir, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thanks so much, everyone else, for the great participation. Thanks for being here. Thanks for believing in the Apostate Prophet, who will grant you with 72 things in heaven. I don't know. I just couldn't make anything up. Do I think teaching children about religion is a form of child abuse? Asked by Romy Tobinson. I don't think teaching it entirely is a form of child abuse. It's just very wrong in many perspectives. But teaching children about very specific things on religions and teaching children about very specific religions is definitely some sort of child abuse. Yeah. Like when you tell children that they should behave or they will go to hell. Everyone who knows a bit about psychology should know that that is definitely not healthy for your child's future. What do I think about dogs before and after leaving Islam? Asked by Teratopia. So, thanks for the question, Teratopia. Surprisingly, I was not that much big of an enemy of dogs, even when I was a Muslim. I respected the Hadith, I respected the Islamic rulings on dogs, but I was also in the Hanafi school of Islam, which is a bit less harsh on dogs than the others. But yeah, after I left, I just came back to my senses again. And as a person, I always liked dogs because we even know historically that dogs are beautiful creatures who, I mean, we know from history that dogs chose to live together with us. You know, they chose to be domesticated. They are beautiful animals. And Islam being against dogs is just another reason why Islam is crazy. Nature Love made a donation in a currency that I can't really figure out and said, "Hi, how are you? What do you think about the future of Islam?" Thank you so much for your super chat, Nature Love. I would say that the future of Islam is not very bright for Islam, but at some points maybe also not bright for everyone else. But I would say that that Islam as a major religion will definitely die within the next 100 to 200 years, maybe even 100 to 150 years, because current generations are extremely in supersonic speed distancing themselves from actually practicing Islam. And so many countries, so many authorities in so many countries, in very religious ones, are aware of that and spread that awareness about the danger of apostasy and atheism. So Islam is definitely growing because of its birth rate, but it's also dying because people don't want to put up with such weird rules anymore. So I would say the way technology is advancing, the way the internet and community and everyone talking to each other from different corners of the world is expanding, Islam will definitely die a very horrible death within the next 100 to 200 years. But thanks again for the question. What, in my opinion, are the best and the worst schools of Islam? Asked by Lucien Marash. I never thought about it that way. I would say the worst movement that we have right now is definitely Salafism or Wahhabism in a way. But I'm just saying this because the way people practice that religion and could practice that movement is can be quite dangerous. On the other hand, Salafis are probably, I think, the most honest Muslims that we have about their own religion. About the best one, I wouldn't say that there is a best one. I never thought about it that way. I should think further about that. But I would say that Sufism is quite nice, and I even say this as a former Sufi, although I should hate my past. But I would say it's quite nice compared to Salafism. But it's still not good at all. It's horrible. Mr. Amir, ha ha ha, all these Hindu fascists love you. Well, tough bananas, go home and cry. The majority of my viewers are usually from America, not the majority. The plurality are from America. As far as it goes right now, then comes India after a gap, then comes the UK, and then Canada, Australia, Germany, Indonesia, Malaysia, and so on. Sweden is there, which is also quite nice. I don't know why people always tell me that my channel is some form of a Hindu channel. I mean, I appreciate the presence of people from India here, but why do people have such a problem with that? Yeah, Lone Crusader. After my video on India, I got many followers from India, and some Indian channels shared that video about Ghazwa Hind, which I found very nice. Thanks again, whoever initiated that. Inoi Defiant said, "What kind of music do you like?" It changes. I'm usually more into calm music, into more artistic music, into weird stuff like pagan folk. There was this German band called Fawn. I don't know how many people know that. I have a very weird taste in music, but I used to listen to a lot of punk rock and otherwise rock. I still listen to it a bit, but yeah, I'm usually interested in very culturally interesting music. Beth, yeah, as Beth said, there are a lot of Christians on this channel. I wouldn't even. I actually want to make a survey about that to find out what everyone believes and what people who choose to support me think and stuff like that. But I think the way it looks right now, there is a dominance of Christians, Hindus, and atheists, kind of, on this channel right now. And I see a lot of Christians, a lot of Hindus, a lot of atheists, and that's exactly what I want. I don't want to come here and say, oh, I'm against all religions equally. They are all horrible. Why would I do that? Why would I want to divide everything? Retrowave. I never listened to Retrowave, but yeah, nice. Hey AP, how long have you been married for? I have been married actually for how long have we been married? My wife is here too, in the live chat, not here. Yeah, for a bit more than a year, but it could have been longer than that, but we just didn't have the means to do it before that, because I was in a different place, she was in a different place. But yeah, we've been married for quite a while now. Hans-Peter, are you 100% sure that Islam is false? Yes, I am 100% sure that Islam is false. I am, definitely. I wouldn't have left the religion if I weren't 100% sure that it was false. I was at such a point with my opinions on things. Do I have children as well? Harris Sultan. Thanks, Harris, for the question. Yes, I do. I have a son, a beautiful little son. He will be the next Apostate Prophet. I'm just kidding. I won't indoctrinate my child with such things. Slovak Queen, how did your parents react to marrying a kafir and having a non-Muslim child? Well, they didn't react very, very positively. I mean, they were quite sad about that I'm now splitting and marrying a non-Muslim, because that's pretty much unacceptable in the Islamic world. Parents don't want that. It would have been much tougher on me if I was a girl and tried to marry a non-Muslim man. But anyway, my parents didn't react very well to that, but I didn't care. I mean, I was always independent. I was always going my own way and being a lone wolf. So I just did it anyway. And in the end, they had no other choice than accepting it. And I'm very lucky with her. She's a wonderful person. I'm talking about my wife, not my mother. But can please someone tell me to stop making such jokes? How did you... No, I just read that. Honest question. What do you think the average IQ of an ISIS fighter is? Asked by Tux. Interesting question. I don't think I could make very nice, very accurate analysis of the IQ of those people. I would say they have a lot of intelligent people among themselves, because many people like doing that, but I don't think that intelligence really determines to what extent people do radical and weird things in their life. So I would say that there are probably quite above intelligent people, above average IQ people among them, also pretty dumb ones. I don't know. But if someone just simply goes there and joins the ranks of them just to fight, I believe such a person has probably a very low IQ. Yeah. I was just stuck on a question that I tried to figure out. How difficult was it to grow up in a Muslim family? Asked by Neutrail. Thank you so much. Well, the thing is, I mean, you have to define difficult, because when you grow up in that, you don't really see it as difficult, especially if you like it. If you believe in Islam firmly, you don't see it as something difficult. You only realize how difficult and how different it is when you look at it again from the outside, by which I mean after you left the religion. After leaving it, I believe that I was very, very disadvantaged in life compared to many other people that I have known because of my religious upbringing. And I can't be mad about that anymore. Of course, I'm kind of sad about that. Of course, it leaves shattered pieces in me that I have to resolve in the future years of my life, because Muslims can be pretty tough dealing with their children in general. So yes, it was quite tough, and Muslims are also very harsh on indoctrinating their children into Islam. It was harsh, but when I was inside of that, I didn't really realize how much worse than others I was. What do my parents think of my channel, Concussed Duck? My parents don't know about it. I'm just waiting for the day they find out. Susha Sharma said, "Why is polygamy only for men?" Well, Arabics were a very, very patriarchal culture. Most of the surrounding nations were very patriarchal cultures. So I think that's the main reason for that. I don't think there is there is anything deeper to look for behind that. Do I know Wumscut? No, I don't. Thank you, Antimony Cup. Okay, humming a nice German tune. Yeah, kind of. I think it wasn't German. It was rather international. But I don't even know, what was I just summing. I have no idea. Are you happy to hear German people are finally standing up for their country? I don't think they're really standing up right now. I think many of them are still quite asleep, but I will gladly help out Germany in that, and that's why I created my German channel, which I will start doing stuff on very soon. I will release my first video very soon. Let me actually, I think there is a card above in this live chat which tells you sometimes that I have a German channel now, but let me just share the link with all those who want to find it quickly. Just a second. Just a second, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a link to my German channel. If people want to check that out, you can do so, especially German speakers. I will start talking on there very soon. I'm even preparing my first video right now. Yeah, I'm full on going into criticizing Islam. A super chat by DC, $5. Thank you so much, DC. One more question. What are your thoughts on Al Jazeera? There's a strong Qatari bias, but do you feel it spreads Salafist views? Well, my views on Al Jazeera are not as bad as my views on usual Muslim countries and organizations. I don't think they are that bad openly, but the thing is, they spread stuff that we shouldn't see in the West now. They spread stuff that we shouldn't see in the world now, and they have obviously a political agenda and a very clear political bias. So I would never take Al Jazeera as a credible source, especially about something that concerns Islamic countries or Islam or Islamic terrorism and stuff like that. Never. They obviously have a bias, and yeah. My news sources, if I ever go on a news page directly to read news, is usually Reuters. I like Reuters as a source, kind of, and a bit I like. What do I like? Yeah, I like the Washington Post in general. If it doesn't come to political matters in America where they can be easily biased on, and to some extent, I also like the Atlantic. Raymond Salam, thanks for the question. Have you seen David Wood's Islamicize Me? I did. It was occasionally quite funny. It's a nice thing to watch. Sushma Sharma, I took your name 5 times. I didn't even know that you're a woman. But yeah, I'm happy for you. Okay, my throat is getting problematic again, as you might be hearing it out. I don't know. I have very bad problems sometimes with my voice. What do I think of Shabir Ali? I don't know much about him. I know that he's a quite respectful Islamic apologist, which is why I would have respect for him initially, but I don't know very much about him, so I wouldn't make any comments about him. But thanks for the question, Neith Leonhard. Does Islam turn people into terrorists? Asked by Vikash Tiwari. I wouldn't say Islam directly turns them into terrorists, but Islam has a very clear and solid basis that might turn people into very violent, very intolerant people who might also be happy and ready to do things that shouldn't be done today. So yeah, I think Islamic terrorism and Islam are definitely related. I wouldn't say that Islam easily turns you into a terrorist, but I would say that Islam can turn you into a terrorist. Gedalia, he's very weak in his debates. I don't know much about him, as said. I believe we are still talking about Shabir Ali. I don't know. I have never seen a debate of him at all. I guess, I don't know. I would have to look into that further. I don't care much about debates and apologists, so no. What do I think about Geert Wilders? Asked by Amin Rashid. Geert Wilders is a very, I just totally without noticing said it the Dutch way. Geert Wilders. Are there any Dutch people here? Can you tell me if I'm saying it right? Geert Wilders. I think he's brilliant. I think he's doing a very great job against the rise of Islam in Europe. I think he's quite brave, especially after people in his immediate surrounding who did the same thing were killed. He still went on and he's still fighting against Islam, which is a great thing to do. And I had a very short interaction with him actually before. Yeah, I think he's nice. I follow him. He's doing the right thing that should be done in Europe right now. Mohammed Adil, thank you so much for being here. Good night. Rami Tobinson, what advice would I give someone thinking of leaving Islam? Can I just imitate Yasmin Mohammed here without offending her? Someone asked that question when we were on a live chat with Yasmin Mohammed. What advice would you give someone who considers leaving Islam? And Yasmin Mohammed said something like this: I would tell them, read the Quran. Yeah. I have the same advice. Read it. You will definitely leave it. If you are playing with the thought of leaving Islam, after reading the Quran, you will probably leave it. Hans-Peter said, what are you saying about the fact that the Kaaba is prophesied in the Bible? The Kaaba is not prophesied in the Bible, but I might make a video about that at some time. It's definitely not prophesied in the Bible. It says in the what people are referring to is that in one part in the Bible, it talks about a place called the Valley of Baca. I don't remember which one it was. It was in the Psalms. It was in the Psalms. But what the chapter is actually talking about is pilgrimage, and the Psalms are basically little songs about things. And in that part of the Bible, it's basically talking about people who go on the pilgrimage, and the pilgrimage is actually done in Jerusalem. But at one part of that talking about Jerusalem, it says, and when they walk through the Valley of Baca. Now, Muslims come and say that the Valley of Baca in that Bible chapter is a reference to Mecca, to the Kaaba, which is bullshit. It's talking about the pilgrimage. It clearly mentions in the chapter 4 times that it's about Jerusalem, about Zion, which all refers to Jerusalem, or to Egypt before that. Why would the pilgrims, when they walk to Jerusalem for the pilgrimage, walk through Mecca, which is weeks or days away? Why would they do that? That's complete nonsense. There is no reference to Mecca or to Kaaba in the Bible at all. What do I think about India and Pakistan? Asked by Prahar Mohinta. I'm actually, well, I don't think very much about I think a lot about Pakistan. Let's stop lying. I think many people in Pakistan are very weird people, but let's not be racist now. Well, the problem is I can't really have a very clear opinion on Pakistan, because what do we hear about Pakistan? What I get is constant death threats from Pakistan, constant incredible insults from Pakistan, violent threats from Pakistan, and so much more. And if you look at the news, Pakistan always comes with weird controversies about the death penalty given to a blasphemer, about people being lynched in the streets, about Imran Khan being angry about caricatures of Prophet Muhammad, and so on. So what can anyone really say positively about Pakistan? It's a disgraceful country. Best I can say about Pakistan. And my channel is even banned in Pakistan, kind of like people need to use VPNs and different means to reach my channel in Pakistan. The Pakistani government directly banned multiple videos of my YouTube channel, which is an honor. It's nice. What do I think of Jordan Peterson? I think Jordan Peterson is a very intellectual, very smart, very revolutionary, and very influential person in today's time. There are so many things that I don't agree with him about, but in general, I would say that he's a very intellectual and very influential guy. I think he's nice. I don't like listening to people speak that way. I think some of the things that he presents and that are perceived as very intellectual are actually very simple things. To be quite honest, without offending Jordan Peterson fans, but they are very simple things that you can think about very quickly. Other than that, I still think, beside all my criticism, I would say that Jordan Peterson is a quite nice guy and quite intellectual, with all due respect. Kylo Ren said, "Have you ever been to Holland? Many Turks here are Erdogan fans." Yes, I have been to the Netherlands once. Yes, I've been to Holland once. I was in Rotterdam and in Amsterdam. It was quite nice. I loved Amsterdam. I think every person should see Amsterdam once in their life and then find a better place to be free. What do I think about Bangladesh? I have no idea what I think about Bangladesh. Not very much, actually. I don't have very much opinions about Bangladesh. Apple Goo made a super chat for $14.99. Thank you so much. Is that Australian dollars? I believe it's Australian dollars, is it? Thank you so much, Apple Goo. Said, "Thanks for your honesty and eloquent explanation with infectious laughter." Thank you so much. I appreciate it so very, very much. As said, I would encourage no one to use the super chat, to use the super chat function, but if anyone wants to do it, go ahead. I appreciate it totally. Yes, I did. P and Dr. Wake Up. Amsterdam is great. I did a lot of nice things in Amsterdam, but the first thing when I was in Amsterdam was to do something that I was allowed to do in Amsterdam and that I wasn't allowed to do anywhere else. Obviously, had a quite nice time there, and yeah, it's a beautiful city. I think it's wonderful. I don't like living in big cities, but I could imagine living in Amsterdam. It's beautiful. Okay, said, "Where in Germany were you born? In which Bundesland?" I was born in Baden-Württemberg, close to Stuttgart. So I can also speak in an accent that many Germans don't really want to hear. Ich kann Schwäbisch schwätzen, weißt du? Sajid Khan, I appreciate your comment, but I wouldn't make such comments. Please. I don't even appreciate the content of your comment. I just appreciate that you made a comment. But please don't make such comments. I'm no apologist and no fan of genocides and other things. Someone with a weird Russian, with a Cyrillic long name said, "Is Israel stronger than all Muslim states?" I would say Israel is stronger than many Muslim states combined, but Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. But yeah, Israel is very, very strong and showed that very, very early. How do I feel about the situation in Germany? Asked by the Danish girl. Well, it's quite complicated. I mean, in Germany, it's pretty hard to actually make a stance, to take a position on the discussion on Islam, because if you say that you have a problem with the way things are going, with immigration and open borders and whatever, then people label you far right. You can't even have a proper conversation about it. It's much worse than in America. So it's sad, but many people are standing up to that. Many people are offering better solutions, and in a Chatham House survey, I think made a few years ago, we also saw that the majority of German people don't want to keep having mass Muslim immigration. That most of them disagree with that. The thing is that those people who disagree with such things, who are the majority, apparently choose to stay more silent than the ones who go out in the streets and yell about Islamophobia. Yeah. What is there to say? I'm doing my part. I'm making a German channel. I'll start making videos on there very soon. If you are interested, please welcome. Slovak Queen said, what is the education on the Holocaust like in predominantly Muslim countries and its schools? Many predominantly Muslim countries don't know much about the Holocaust at all. Some countries learn in some places they learn that some facts about the Holocaust are dubious. In some nations closer to the West, they learn more in a more proper way about the Holocaust. But among many Muslims, it's quite the norm to deny the Holocaust or to applaud the Holocaust in many Muslim nations. And yeah, that's all. Thanks for the question. Thanks, guys, for all the participation. I can be here for another 5 minutes. I'm getting a massive headache right now, and my throat is getting quite bad. But yeah, I'm here for another 5 minutes. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating. Thanks for the great comments and everything. I'll be here I'll be gone very soon. A super chat by Ravish Rawat. That's an Indian currency. I figured that out now. Would you like to make a Hindi channel too, besides German? You can serve broader humanity that way. Well, I can't make anything I can't do that. I mean, I don't know how I would do that because I don't speak Hindi. And just for Hindi subtitles, it would be a waste to create a new channel. So I don't think I would do anything similar to that. But if anyone wants to add Hindi subtitles or subtitles of any language to my videos, you can basically you can quickly do that under every video that I release. I think if you go into the 3 dots, yeah, it says add translations. If you go on there and if you want to add subtitles to my videos, it's very easy to do. You can go there and add your subtitles and publish them and also be credited for that in the description. Feel free to do so. Thank you so much. Talhan Abdulaziz said, why do you lie so much about Islam? Because lying is fun. Diane said, I just speak shalom to you and to your physical being. Blessings. Thank you. I don't share your beliefs, but I appreciate it. Believe me. I won't tell you to leave and get out because you prayed for me. Which many obnoxious people do who call themselves a community nowadays online, I know. Okay. Mr. K said, I suggest you do Arabic subtitles and learn Arabic language, AP. I never really was very eager to learn the Arabic language fully. I mean, I'm very familiar with the language itself because I studied linguistics a lot. I'm very much familiar with the sentence structures, with different types of words. I'm familiar with so many words in Arabic. I can easily understand how sentences are formed and what something means, but I never really went into it. I'm not really interested in that language. But if anyone wants to contribute in languages to my videos, I just explained, you can go on the three dots, can click add a translation, and then you can add subtitles of your own to my channel, which is very nice. J-Tune said, where in Germany did you live? Close to Stuttgart in Baden-Württemberg. Esma B said, what Islamic countries do you have most hope for? Which ones don't you have hope for? I have hope for countries like Indonesia and Malaysia, for the far away ones. I have hope for the Central Asia ones like Kazakhstan or the other Turkic countries. I have hope for Bosnia and Herzegovina. I have hope for Turkey a bit, although Turkey is destroying it right now very much. And the countries that I don't have any hope for are Pakistan. So surprising. Saudi Arabia. I have hope for Iran too, by the way, although it seems unbelievable. Yeah, I hope that answers the question. Thank you so much. Kylo said, why do Arabs speak like they're choking all the time? Stop it. Do I speak Irish? Gypsy Brown. I don't speak Irish. I can't even do the accent. I remember I was on this business trip once, long in the past, and I was standing together with these few people, all speaking in English, and then there was this guy from Ireland who had this heavy Irish accent, and he started speaking, and I was just standing there, and I was like, okay, I have no idea what you're saying, buddy. And I was just laughing when people were laughing. So yeah, I can't even imitate that. I know that was very racist and offensive against Irish people, but I'm sorry. What do you think the future of Islam and people leaving the religion is going to be like? Achraf El, I thank you for your super chat very much, €5. I answered the question, I think 3 times before in this live chat. It's accelerating. It's getting much faster day by day, people leaving Islam. Islamic countries are recognizing that problem, are trying to deal with that problem. Islamic apologists are trying to deal with that problem, but they can't cope with it. And I believe that within the next 100 to 200 years, Islam will be gone, because generations in 150 years will have absolutely no interest in practicing such bullshit anymore. And we can see that right now. That's what makes me happy. I'm just here to accelerate the process. I'm not trying to destroy anything. I'm just helping Islam to go away quicker than it is already. What do I think about how Muhammad died? Very controversial topic. I'll talk about it. I promise. Moleda Vora, thank you so much for your question. Beth said, please don't give permissions for translations without vetting them. I'm doing that. I check all the translations. I check if they are correct or not. Then I do that. No worries. Thanks, though. J-Tune said, you should check out Axel Ost-West. He's also an apostate from Germany. I know. I know his channel. I noticed it a few weeks ago. Started following him. Quite a nice guy. Quite interesting. Quite intellectual. And I'll take 2 last questions. Funkenfinger said, do you know any vocal German ex-Muslims? Would like to listen to someone else besides Hamid Abdel Samad for once. To be honest, I don't know many outspoken apostates in Germany. I mean, there is the ex-Muslim organization in Germany, but I don't think they're doing very well in their activities. Other than that, I don't think there are many people who present Islamic criticism of Islam in a very nice way, which is why I started doing my German YouTube channel. Check it out. Thanks for the question. And Adam Farhi, apostate, what do you think about Israel? There couldn't be a better final question. Okay. I promised I would do a video about Israel very soon, about the whole Israel conflict. I delayed that very often because I just read and watched and thought further about it. And I totally support the existence of Israel and Israel's right to defend its own borders, also against people who just try to pass its borders by putting children in front of them and igniting balloons and whatever. I totally support those things that come from Israel. Sometimes Israel goes too far in how they defend themselves, but I can't even blame Israel for that, because seriously, if you are a small state and everyone around you is against you and everyone around you wants to attack you, how much can you really control your power? How much can you really not get out of control by defending yourself? And Israel is also the only country in the Middle East that is remotely modern and remotely looking toward the future and remotely having human rights. So, yeah, of course, I'm doing this YouTube channel because Israel pays me a lot of money. How could I not love my employers? I believe nice things about Israel. There are some things that I disagree with, but I will make a video about Israel very soon. The thing about Israel was a joke, by the way. I know there might be some people who might not be getting sarcasm, but it was a joke. I'm sorry. That's all. All right, guys. That's all for now. My throat is totally screwed up, and so is my head. Thanks everyone for the great participation. Thanks for all the questions. I'm sorry for all the questions that I couldn't answer. I'll try to take enough from all the ideas that you people give me and try to make more and more in the future. Thanks again. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful night, wherever you are, in what part of the world you ever are. And we can't go without saying this. Stay away from Islam. Thanks.